Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami. Hare Krishna, thank you all for joining for our daily Srimad Bhagavatam study here at ISKCON of Philadelphia. Today is the auspicious occasion of Sri Rama Navami, the appearance day of Lord Sri Ramchandra. We will discuss briefly on this Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 8, Text 15, and then we'll also discuss about the glories of Ramchandra today. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
We are reading, studying, and discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 8, Text 15. Bhupatalakakuvyoma graha nakshatra bhubhrutham sarit samudra dvipanam sambhavaschaitadokasham. Bhupatalakakuvyoma graha nakshatra bhubhrutham sarit samudra dvipanam sambhavaschaitadokasham. Bhupatalakakuvyoma graha nakshatra bhubhrutham sarit samudra dvipanam sambhavaschaitadokasham. Please recite.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
भूपातालकुकुव्योम ग्रह नक्षत्र भूभृताम् सरिता समुद्रद्वीपानां सम्भवश्चैतदोकसाम्.
भूपातालककुव्योमा ग्रहनक्षत्रभूभृताम् सरित्समुद्रद्वीपानां सम्भवश्चदैलोकशाम्.
हरे कृष्ण भूपातालककुव्यम ग्रह नक्षत्र भूवृतम शरित समुद्र दीपानम शंभवर्चैतदोकशम्. हरे कृष्ण.
हरे कृष्ण. भूपातालकुकुवयों ग्रह नक्षत्र भूभृतां सरित समुद्र द्वीपानां सम्भवश्चैतदोकसाम्. हरे कृष्ण.
Anyone else? Wants to try? Okay, we'll go to the synonyms. Bhu Patala, underneath the land. Kakup, the four sides of the heavens. Vyoma, the sky. Graha, the planets. Nakshatra, the stars. Bhubhritam, of the hills. Sarit, the river. Samudra, the sea. Dvipanam, of the islands. Sambhavaha, appearance. Cha, also. Etat, their. Okasham, of the inhabitants. Translation. O best of the Brahmanas, please also describe how the creation of the globes throughout the universe, the four directions of the heavens, the sky, the planets, the stars, the mountains, the rivers, the seas, and the islands, as well as their different kinds of inhabitants take place. Purport: the inhabitants of different varieties of land, etc., are differently situated, and not all of them are equal in all respects. The inhabitants of the land are different from the inhabitants of the water or the sky. And similarly, the inhabitants of the different planets and stars in the sky are also different from one another. By the laws of the Lord, no place is vacant, but the creatures of one particular place are different from those of other places. Even in human society, the inhabitants of the jungles or the deserts are different from those of the cities and villages. They are so made according to different qualities of the modes of nature. Such adjustment by the laws of nature is not blind. There is a great plan behind the arrangement. Maharaj Parikshit requests the great sage Sukadev Goswami to explain all these authoritatively in accordance with proper understanding. Jai Om Ajnana Thimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति सपदान्तिकं नमा ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, thank you all again for joining, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak primarily for my own purification. And I hope I can share a few points for the pleasure of all the Vaishnavas here and for the pleasure of the Lord. Before I begin, I seek blessings from all of you and also seek your permission before I can share something. Hare Krishna. So, oh, best of the Brahmanas, please also describe how the creation of the globes happens. So, who is speaking? Any guess? In the purport, it was answered, but anyone remember?
Brahmanas.
Who is speaking?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Yes, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, oh, best of the Brahmanas means he is addressing Sukadev Goswami. Yeah. And in the end of the purport also we read, Maharaj Parikshit requests the great sage Sukadev Goswami. Yeah. So it's very interesting, although we can't, spend this entire class in discussion about this verse because I'm also asked to or instructed to speak on the glories of Lord Ramchandra. So about 15-20 minutes, we'll discuss about this verse and then we'll go to the glories of Lord Ramchandra. So, couple of highlight points first before I go into the details is in the previous words we were discussing about how the different modes of nature are created. Yeah, and then um, here the topic is creation. How is the creation happening? And then all these different elements of the creation are being mentioned here. The sky, the mountains, the rivers, the seas. And then Prabhupada in the purport is making such a beautiful point. He says, there is a great plan behind the arrangement. There is a great plan. So we'll discuss about a couple of points. Yeah, one is what is that? First about the creation, and then what is this great plan of the Lord? Yeah. So we know, or at least in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, in the first canto itself, Prabhupada explains, or Suta Goswami talks to the sages at Naimisharanya, and he explains, so there are multiple layers to today's words. One is, how is this creation made? Yeah, first question. Then obviously the next question, once how is answered, what is the next question?
Where is the creation?
Prabhupada gives the hint in the purport, right? The great plan. Why it is made? Why? So how it is made is the first question. Second question is, why is it made? What is the purpose behind this creation? Yeah. How is it made? Second is, why is it made? And then what can I learn from this creation? You know, I see so many things around me, the mountains, the trees, the sky, the rivers, the wind, water, so many things I see. What can I learn from this creation? And then, uh, what is the ultimate good? With and how can I achieve that with the help of this creation? You see, behind the great plan of the Lord that Prabhupada mentions in the purport, these are the four questions we are trying to answer. Uh, how the creation is made, why the creation was made, what can I learn by looking around at the creation itself, and but ultimately we all have a goal, right? The ultimate goal of my life, I need to know, and how can I uh, use this creation to teach me and to help me achieve that goal of life. Yeah. So, so in the first canto itself, you know, in the beginning, in the third chapter, which is Krishna, the source of all incarnations, right up front, it's explained that Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, has, of course, unlimited opulences, but the six primary opulences are discussed, right? Yeah. Anyone remembers what they are?
All wealth, all
Yeah.
beauty, all strength, all renunciation.
Yeah.
Five. And
And
one more
knowledge.
strength. Knowledge.
Yes. So part of his opulence is also, you know, how we discuss the Brahma Jyoti, right? The Brahman effulgence, the Brahman manifestation, and then there is Paramatma manifestation. Okay. Or what is also called as the Purusha incarnation. Yeah. So part of his opulence is this Brahma Jyoti, which is the Brahman effulgence or the Brahman manifestation. And the other part is the Paramatma or the Purusha manifestation or the Purusha incarnation. Yeah. So from that Purusha or that Paramatma manifestation comes what? What are the Purusha incarnations? Or you want to, yes, we have the Mahavishnu, right? The Karan, who is also called as Karanodakasai Vishnu. Then you have the Garbhodakasai Vishnu. And who is the third one?
Kshirodakshaya Vishnu.
Kshirodakasai Vishnu. Yes. So this Mahavishnu or the Karanodakasai Vishnu, he is the creator of all those 16 elements, right? Plus the, you know, the mind, intelligence, and false ego, the Mahat Tattva that we call. Yeah. Yeah. And where does he lie? He lie in that Karana ocean.
Karanavash.
Yes, yeah. And from his pores of his skin, what comes? All the universes come. Right, right. Yes, yes. We all know this. Yes. So all the universes come. So he creates these material ingredients in that Mahat Tattva. And then the Garbhodakasai Vishnu, right? Who is also the father of Brahma. He enters into each universe and then he lies down on the water. And what is that ocean called? The Garbhodaka ocean.
Garbhodakshaya.
Yeah, Garbhodaka ocean. Yes. And from his navel comes what?
Brahma.
Not yet.
I'm sorry. All the
Brahma.
First, the
Stem.
lotus stem. The lotus stem. Yeah. From that stem, we know in this stem, the 14 divisions of the planetary systems are there, right? The upper, middle, and the lower. And the Earth is the middle planet. And what is the topmost planet?
Brahmaloka.
Brahmaloka or Satyaloka, right? Yeah. So all this Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, you know, that we say they are all incarnations of this Garbhodakasaya Vishnu. Yeah. And then Kshirodakasaya Vishnu is there, who is that collective Paramatma or the maintainer of all the living beings who is present, right? As Paramatma in each and every living entity and in all the material objects also. Yeah. So, yeah, you all are following me so far? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yes.
So So this is how the creation is happening through these, through his Purusha incarnations. Then the question comes, why? Why do this creation has to happen? Yeah. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the beginning itself, in the first canto, first chapter, the sages at Naimisharanya, there are 6 questions, right? They ask. One of the question they are asking whom? Suta Goswami. They are asking is, what is the ultimate good for people? Yeah, and what is that verse in the second chapter of the first canto? The text, Savai pumsam paro dharma yato bhakti radokshje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasiddhati. Right? To perform pure, unalloyed, unmotivated devotional service. That is the ultimate goal of life. Yeah, that is what is the ultimate good for people. So now, how can we get there? So Prabhupada in one of his lectures explains why this creation is there. This creation is there because all the living entities who are now right here, we have all rebelled against Krishna. Because we have rebelled against Krishna, we are not allowed to enter the kingdom of God. So this creation is made, Prabhupada explains, just to give us a chance to develop Krishna consciousness, to develop that apratiyata ahetuki bhakti. Right? That is ultimately what we want to develop. Pure, loving devotional service to the Lord. So he is giving us a chance by creating this material world. So we can develop. If there is no creation, so what will happen to the rebelled souls? You all are following? How will we get a chance to go back? For us, so if I have rebelled against Krishna, if he doesn't have this creation, we don't have a chance to go back to kingdom of God. So he's doing, see how merciful the Lord is. I am rebelling against him, and then he's doing this creation to give us another chance so we can purify ourselves and go back to him. Yeah. So see the plan of the Lord. Yeah. So Krishna is not only doing this creation, but is also ensuring through this creation that he gives us opportunities. He teaches us lessons to learn, so that we can develop this pure devotional service to him and we can go back to him. Yeah. So, and what happens, we have been discussing in these previous verses, and this verse also Prabhupada is saying, all kinds of species are there, right? What will happen if we don't learn our lessons and develop Krishna consciousness? We fall down, right? All these 8.4 million species of life, at least in human form of life, I can wear some clothes. huh? In the second chapter, 48th text, Krishna says, Neha vikramanasosthi pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Right? He says that. So a little advancement in the path of Krishna consciousness, there is no loss or there is no diminution, but it will protect you from the greatest danger. And what is that greatest danger? Falling down into lower species of life. So we have to be very careful, to look around and see what lessons this creation is teaching us, so that we can put an end to this repeated cycle of birth and death. Otherwise, what will happen? Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya. We keep on changing cloth, one dress after other, one dress after other, keep changing bodies. Yeah. So Prabhupada is explaining here uh, that through this creation also we can learn, by looking around, we can learn how to achieve pure devotional service and go back home, back to Godhead. And one of the teachings is where Krishna speaks to Uddhava when he narrates the discussion between this Avaduta Brahmana and Yadu, King Yadu. Yeah. And he says in there, Prabhupada writes in one of the purports that if one listens to this carefully, one goes back home, back to Godhead. Yeah. So in the 11th canto, 7th chapter, this discussion is there between text 33 and 35. Yeah. I'll just try to, 1 second, try to read it, so it's more powerful to just, read this and hear directly from Prabhupada. O king, so this is Avaduta Brahmana talking to King Yadu. He says, O king, I have taken shelter of 24 gurus who are the following: the earth, the air, sky, water, moon, fire. Remember, most of these have come in today's verse in the translation. Okay, all of the fire, moon, sun, pigeon, and python, the sea, moth, honeybee, elephant, and honey thief, the deer, the fish, the prostitute Pingala, the kurara bird, and the child, and the young girl, arrow maker, serpent, spider, and wasp. My dear king, by studying their activities, I've learned the science of the self. You know, I'll repeat this last line. My dear king, by studying their activities, I have learned the science of the self. So these 24 gurus that he's referring to here, they are nothing but they are representatives of the creation. And just like, here it's explained that is saying, this Avaduta Brahmana is telling this King Yadu, I have learned the science of self. So we can also follow in the footsteps. They're teaching us, right? The lessons on how to do pure devotional service. That is the ultimate goal. Apratihata ahetuki bhakti. And how we can learn. Yeah. Yeah, and in one of the next verses also actually, Krishna is speaking to Uddhava actually. Here he says, a saintly person should learn from the mountain. Okay, mountains also was discussed in this translation for today's words. A saintly person should learn from the mountain to devote all his efforts to the service of others and to make the welfare of others the sole reason for his existence. Similarly, as the disciple of the tree, he should learn to dedicate himself to others. So beautiful, so beautiful. This is real nectar, Prabhupada is explaining here, Krishna's teachings to Uddhava. So the mountains are teaching us how to do apratihata ahetuki bhakti. The mountain is teaching us, according to Srila Madhvacharya, ours is the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. And the Madhvacharya, he says, he uses the word par artha aikanta sambhava, that one should dedicate all of one's wealth and other assets to the welfare of others. By one's acquired opulence, one should especially try to please the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these mountains, if you see, they put forth, from the mountains comes so pure crystalline water, right? From the mountains come the waterfalls. So much water is coming from these mountains. And this water is giving life to all of us. So how? By serving everybody. The example here is the art of providing for the happiness of all living entities. Yeah, how the mountain is serving. Yeah. The mountain doesn't eat anything. No food is required. So the point is, if you are serving others sincerely for the pleasure of the Lord, then you don't need many things. Just minimum food, minimum everything. Everything will be automatically taken care of. Yeah. Uh, um, and it's also explained, if you sincerely dedicate your time for the mission of the Lord by serving the Lord and and the Vaishnavas, then your body will also be taken care. That doesn't mean you neglect it and abuse it, but saying, you won't have any major health issues or anything. Yeah. Why? The mountain sees everything as Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Because mountain sees everything as the Lord's property. So it serves without any contamination. Hetuna, no. Yeah. And apratihata. That's what we learn. Uh, but the mountains speak, no, they are very quiet, silent, very silent servants. Uh, but they remind us of Krishna's greatness. I was last October in Mm, Kedarnath, Badrinath, those so beautiful mountains, right from where we were staying, right? You could see so beautiful mountains. It reminds you of the Lord's opulences. The mountains were reminding us of Krishna. Uh, and similarly, if you extrapolate, so many devotees also, they don't speak much. Just by their exemplary behavior, you can see they are walking Bhagavad Gita, they are walking Bhagavatams, they are walking Chaitanya Charitamritas in our lives. They don't speak much, but they're exemplary in their character, in their behavior. Yeah, this is something that I really personally get very inspired. Of course, when they speak, they teach by their words, but they teach. What I'm trying to say is they silently teach us with their great behavior. That's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah. Um, I One more trees. We'll talk trees and sky, and then maybe I was thinking we can go to Lord Ramchandra's pastimes. Is that okay? You all are able to follow me so far? Did I lose you all?
Yes.
It's okay. Okay. Yeah. So I talked about the mountains, right? The trees. The trees also teach us ahetuki apratihata bhakti service, yeah, and teach us devotional service. Yeah. We know, so many benefits from trees, right? Flowers, fruits, they give us shade. I mean, what else? Anything else you can think of? Anything you can think of? Some trees maybe have some medicinal benefits, right? And then when they're cut down also, they are not complaining still, and they give that as firewood, right? Yeah, they continue to give service to others. So we can learn so much from these magnanimous trees of this creation, uh, and learn some of these qualities, saintly qualities. Yeah. Because they're all serving, everybody think with the understanding that everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. So similarly, as devotees, yeah, we should have loving dealings and we serve others. Yeah, and by serving others, we have a very happy and healthy life, just like these mountains and trees. Yeah. And trees, the other popular or most important instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Pranadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtanya sadahari. So, if we think, one should think oneself lower than the grass, and what more tolerant than a tree, more tolerant than a tree, and amanina manadena, who gives all respect to others but does not expect any respect in return. Yeah. In that humble state of mind, one should chant the holy name of the Lord. Yeah. Um, so one last thing I said, we spoke about the mountains, which was referred in this verse. We spoke about the trees. Just little bit talk about the wind. Maybe we won't have much time for the sky, but um, there is one beautiful verse. I mean, this 11th canto, all the cantos are nectar. In the 11th canto, I found some really interesting verses which are very relevant to today's verse. In the 11th canto, chapter 7, text 40, Prabhupada writes, even a transcendentalist is surrounded by innumerable material objects which possess good and bad qualities. However, one who has transcended material good and evil should not become entangled even when in contact with the material objects. Rather, he should act like the wind. Prabhupada writes, rather he should act like the wind. Very beautiful. I'll try to elaborate on this, and Prabhupada writes in his purport, in that purport to 11.740, the wind when it passes over the waterfalls, right? Um, it carries these sprinkles. Sometimes you can see, right, when the wind blows, uh, it sprinkles those little bit moisture or drops on us and gives us so much freshness, right? So refreshing it is, yeah. And sometimes the wind is blowing through a beautiful forest and it carries all the fragrances of the fruits and flowers. uh, and wind sometimes, the same wind may fuel a fire and it can burn the forest into ashes, right? So, wind. So, Prabhupada is explaining here. And the wind, however, is fixed in its own nature and it remains neutral. Whether it is carrying it is carrying water, fragrances, or it is carrying fire and burning the forest into ash. It's neutral. Yeah. Similarly, meaning in both auspicious and inauspicious activities. Yeah. So, uh, point is inevitably in this material world, which is dukhalayam ashashvatam, and we see many times, right? Matra sparsastu kaunteya, sitoshna sukha dukha. So both are going to come, pleasing and uh, unfavorable situations. But we should try to remain fixed in Krishna consciousness. So like the wind, it passes um, sometimes through the most dark and forbidden places also, but the wind is not disturbed. Yeah. Similarly, we should also never be fearful or anxious, even when in the most difficult situations. Yeah. So some of the things, because I felt it was important, because Prabhupada in today's purport writes there is a great plan of the Lord behind this creation. So I think it's very important for us not just to know how the creation happens and why the creation happens. These two are mostly known, but also what lessons we can learn from all these different elements in the creation and how we can use that um, um, to purify ourselves and reach that ultimate goal of life, which is apratiyata ahetuki bhakti. Yeah. So with that, we will end our discussion on this Bhagavatam verse and go to and discuss a little bit about the glories of Lord Ramchandra, if that's okay with you all, with your permission. Yeah. Unless somebody has any quick comments on the words itself. Any comments or additions you have on the verse? Otherwise, we can discuss about the
A
glories.
beautiful purport about nature, what we have to get from the nature. They are teaching us. So those are the things we need to learn. That's the main part. I just really liked it. Mountains, trees, and other things.
Yeah.
How they do, and they are teaching us silently.
Yes, Mataji. Thank
So
you for sharing.
with
Yeah.
all this knowledge, we need to learn that.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any other quick comments before we go to the glories of Lord Ramchandra? Okay, today is the, very auspicious day appearance of Lord Ramchandra, Sri Rama Navami. Um, the Lord's activities, or God's activities, his pastimes, if we hear, yeah, that means when we are hearing means if we hear properly in the right mood and consciousness, That means we are associating with Lord Ramchandra. Remember, because there is no difference between the Lord's name, form, his activities, his paraphernalia, right? So by hearing about the glories of the Lord, we are associating with the Lord. Whether we chant the holy names of Lord Rama, or you see the beautiful deity of Lord Ramachandra. On Sunday, Dronacharya Prabhu said that the Lord Ramachandra is coming this evening. So I am anxiously waiting to take darshan of Lord this evening of Lord Ramachandra. So, or we talk of his pastimes, his transcendental pastimes, uh, everything associated with the Lord means we are associating with the Lord himself. So it's important we take advantage of days like this when the Lord appears. We try to make a sincere effort to associate, of course, every day, but on these days especially. So, because by his association we become purified. And our process is, as we just discussed, whole purpose. Sorry, the whole purpose is purification. So our process is purificatory process. So because in Krishna consciousness means we are simply means we are purifying our consciousness. So in the Brahma Samhita, there is a words Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamena Tishthan Nanavataram Akarod Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yeah. So in this verse, the incarnation of Lord Ramchandra is described. Ramadi, Ramadi means not only Lord Rama, but there are other innumerable incarnations. And it was interesting. There was one question also asked in the Sunday feast, right? About when Mother Narayani was giving a class about Rama. And Prabhupada explains, Ramadi Murti, Rama and others. And in one of the lectures, he says, Rama means Balarama, Parshurama, Dasarathi Rama, So he says all three. So, so point is Ramadi Murtishu. Ramadi means Rama and others. So many incarnations, unlimited, innumerable number of incarnations, and they are all like the waves of a river, and we can't count them. Uh, So, uh, so today about Lord Ramachandra, we'll just focus on some of his, how his glories or his ideal characteristics. So just little history. Uh, Anyone remembers when did Lord Ramchandra appear?
Treta Yuga?
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So maybe we can calculate, estimate how many years that is. So it's been what, 5,000 years since Kali Yuga has passed? You all agree 5,000, right? Little over 5,000. And what was the Yuga before this? Dwapar Yuga, right? What was the duration of Dwapar Yuga? Double of 432,
Double of
right?
that.
864. So, and prior to that was Treta Yuga, as Dronacharya Prabhu said, right? He appeared in Treta. So how long was that? What is the duration of Treta Yuga? You had another 432, that's about 1.2 million years, right? Of Treta Yuga was 1.2 million years. Dwapar Yuga was 864,000. And then we have another 5,000.
Right.
And Lord Ramchandra, it is explained that he appeared pretty much at the beginning of Treta Yuga. Beginning. So how long has it been?
Very long.
Roughly close to 2 million years. 2
Million.
million years. This is mind-boggling, right? 2 million years ago. And we see modern science, they at the most say maybe human beings existed 100, 150,000 years ago. Yeah. And also, what does modern science say? Where did we come from? How did humans come from in the theory of evolution?
From the apes.
From apes, like, right? Huh? But we see in this Ramayana,
Yeah,
monkeys
but
and
they are.
human beings existed together. See?
Yeah.
So this, mainstream media and all these, they don't accept this because it doesn't fit in with the with the theory of evolution and Darwinism. So otherwise, there is so much literature presented out there, published by some really great scientists also. But nobody pays attention or cares for it because it is not aligned with this theory of evolution. Yeah. But this is 2 million years ago that Lord appeared. Yeah. Uh, 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 and also this misconception that life comes from chemicals. No, life descends from higher form of life. Life descends from a higher form of life. It's very important. Many people don't understand, and some people think that this is mythology. A lot of people, I was talking to so many people, the parents especially, are some, oh, my son loves mythology, mythological stories. Mythology means it is myth made up. No, this is history. This has really happened, you know. So, anyway, Lord Ramchandra, he appeared in Treta Yuga roughly about 2 million years ago. And just like Krishna appeared in Mathura, Lord Ramchandra appeared on this day. Today is called Sri Rama Navami. On the ninth day of the moon, he appeared. And I won't go too much into the detail uh, but we all know that his father Dashrath had three wives, right? And mm, and he got four sons, yeah. And Ramchandra was the eldest son, yeah. And all this, the life and activities of Lord Ramchandra is captured in a book, right, called Ramayana. And it's generally recommended that we follow Valmiki Ramayana. Yeah. My understanding is that in the Ramcharitramanas by Tulsidas, there is some speculation on the part of him. But generally, we follow the Valmiki Ramayana. But some couple of episodes I wanted to discuss and the practical application and what we can learn because Lord Rama really came to teach us so many principles. Yeah. Um, so I'll begin with this Dasharath's promise and Kaikeyi's plan. As we know, Dasharath wanted to retire, right? And he wanted to make or enthrone Lord Ramachandra as the king. And everything was decided, and he was supposed to be coronated as the king the following day. Yeah. Uh, but the night before, his youngest wife, Kaikeyi, uh, she reminded Dasharath that he was supposed to give her a benediction and that she said she will ask it when she needs it, right? So she approaches Maharaj Dasharath and reminds him. Mm. And so he says, yes, yes, I remember, of course. What do you want? Uh, and her response was, Ramchandra cannot be seated on the throne. Instead, my son Bharat should be coronated as the king, you know. And Dashrath was really surprised because that was not some ordinary demand, right? It's a big deal, big demand that was. But still, because he was a Kshatriya king and he was a king, he wanted to keep up with his promise. So to keep his promise to his wife, he said, okay, that will be done. All right. Yeah. Uh, and when Dashrath agreed to Kaikeyi, and then he told Lord Ramchandra Uh, you know, it's very interesting. Prabhupada explains that, she could have directly come and said that I want Bharat to be the king, right? Uh, why did she have to say that Ramchandra has to go to the forest for 14 years? Yes? Any guesses?
That will give good Ramayana, because what is that? He takes Sita, and then that story, whole thing will
Yeah,
come.
yeah,
That will teach us a lot.
sure, but Kaikeyi could have just said, I want Bharat to be the king, right?
But she didn't say.
Her benediction, she could have just said, I want Bharat to be the king. But she also said, I want Ramchandra to go to forest for 14 years.
Ravanasura will come, and then
So, Prabhupada explains that the idea was political. So, Prabhupada explains this saying that the king, Dashrath may agree today to install Bharat as the king, but what if after a few days Ramchandra comes back and comes with an army? Uh, 1 second, please. Just 1 second. I have to just. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Sorry, that was an emergency call. Yeah, so he explains that the idea was also political, that he shouldn't show up after a few days. So she wanted Ramchandra to go to the forest and not come back for 14 years from that day. And Maharaj, Dashrath agreed. And Ramachandra, of all the six opulences that Mother Shobharade was mentioning earlier in the class, one of the opulences is renunciation. And this is extensively glorified, Lord Ramachandra's renunciation in the Bhagavatam. So we see, he didn't think twice or didn't say anything. He just said yes, simply on the order of his father. He was so obedient son. He could have argued. He could have said so many things. What is this? Just to keep your promise with your wife? You are just becoming a henpeck husband? So many things he could have said, right? Everyone is expecting I should be king tomorrow, and they love me so much. No, Ramchandra, just like that, he didn't argue. He accepted immediately. We can see, in how many of you know this king Aurangzeb? Aurangzeb, have you heard this name? The king in in the history. He invaded India. Yeah. Most of you know this name, right? I've heard Aurangzeb.
Yes, yes.
Yes. You know what he did? He put his father in the prison to become the king. If you read the history, here Lord Ramchandra, one word his father said, and he left the kingdom. Aurangzeb put his father in the prison so he could become the king. And I think I shared this maybe before once, that I was in Hyderabad last year, and I was reading that the current chief minister of Andhra Pradesh, one of the states, it seems that, his father was a chief minister of that state, and his father died in a plane crash. Even before the last rites were completed for the father, he already started seeking signatures from all the members of the Legislative Assembly so he could become the chief minister. You see, so contrasting. Everybody wants Ram Rajya, the kingdom of Lord Ramchandra. But, this is, you see what Lord Ramchandra taught? So renounced he was. Yeah. He exhibited this quality simply on the order of his father. Yeah. So very beautiful this example is. And we also see this mood of, I was talking about devotional service, this voluntarily serving and surrendering to the Lord and to the higher principle or the higher dharma. Lakshman, Lord Rama's brother, when Lord Ramachandra was going to the forest, Lakshman said, I also want to go. I'm your constant companion. You know? And what did Rama say? That's fine. That's your wish. Voluntarily, if you want to come, sure, you can come with me. Yes, as a sibling, initially, as a sibling, he had a lot of affection for his elder brother. But he did not agree with being sent to the forest. He was very disappointed when his father sent him to the forest. Yeah, but he wanted, so it was the higher principle and dharma that he wanted to be with. Yeah, initially, yes, as a sibling, he was attached, but we can see this. And Mother Sita also, you know, she, she said, I'll also go. But Lord Rama said, no, 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 you cannot go with me. Its forest is very, very difficult place to stay. And you're the daughter of a king. And you've been, generally you see daughters are raised in a very, protected, like a queen, right? Like a queen, they are raised. So then, no, 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 no. You are, brought up in a nice way. You're so beautiful. You cannot go. You cannot take the troubles of living in the forest. Huh? Generally, if a father tells in today's day and age to his son, hey, you are banned from this house. What do you think the first thing the husband will say or the son will say? Generally speaking.
Please.
Yeah. At least to his
No,
wife,
please.
sorry, go ahead.
No problem.
At least to his wife, he'll say, we'll not stay here 1 minute, let's go. Right? He'll take his wife out. In fact, he'll tell his wife, pack my bags, pack our bags. Right now, let's go. See Lord Ramachandra is saying, no, 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 you stay here. You stay here, please. You don't come. But Mother Sita, she's a chaste wife. She says, no, 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 no. I am married to you. So you are living in a palace, I am living with you. You are going to forest, I'll go to forest. You are going to hell, I'll go to hell with you. Ideal wife. Yeah. She could have easily said, right? Oh, your father has ordered you, you can go. I will remain here. No, no, no. So Prabhupada explains that a wife should be ready to accept all circumstances of the husband. Not that when the husband is rich, the wife is very faithful, and that when he's not, then she gives up his company. No, no. Wife means, that's why they say better half, right? So she must abide. Just like a shadow is following the reality, similarly, wife is the shadow of the husband. Yeah? Wherever the husband goes, the wife goes. Uh, but a lot of times, in modern day and age, people misunderstand this. They think, oh, they say wife is like a slave, right? Yeah. Oh, she has no individuality, no respect. Oh, she's like a slave. No, no, no. Prabhupada explains so beautifully that that's not the case. And just he says, when Sita was kidnapped in the jungle, Lord Ramachandra knew look, forest is not a nice place for somebody like Mother Sita. So it happened. But what did Lord Ramachandra do? Just like we were talking about, the wife has to go with the husband wherever, Yeah, in all circumstances. Lord Ramchandra killed Ravana and demolished the entire Lanka for his wife. Yeah, so you can see both ways. Yeah, so this is where husband was also so faithful. Oh, my wife has been kidnapped, and the whole family of Ravana was massacred. Yeah, we can see this. So many every episode of this Ramayana is a good instruction for us. So Lord Ramchandra appeared to educate all of us, and also to show us the ideal example of, not only as a ideal son, ideal husband, but also as an ideal king, how the king should be. I was mentioning earlier about Ram Rajya, right? When there is good government, uh, 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 all the citizens are happy. Yeah. Uh, so it's Ram Rajya means all the citizens are happy. Kingdom of Lord Rama. Many examples are there. When somebody, Prabhupada gives this example of a person who came with this complaint saying that my son died. How can he die when I am alive? That too in your kingdom, like this. So because so and Lord Rama patiently heard. Um, um, he was saying, oh, maybe there's something wrong in the government. Uh, how can this is unnatural, right, for a son to die before the father? The point is, the king was held responsible for everything, even if there was severe cold or heat. We see many cases, right? Even in case of Maharaj Yudhishthira, Parikshit Maharaj, they're always thinking of the happiness of the citizens. And the citizens were also equally reciprocating and very nice. One other example it is given that, and there was once a Brahmana who, Lord Ramchandra was always going on the tour, right, seeing the citizens. He couldn't go for whatever reason. And this citizen, he did not eat food for almost a month because he didn't get darshan of the Lord. See, this is how the citizens were also so loving. And after seeing Lord Ramchandra, when he saw him personally, then that's when he offered his obeisances, and then he went home and took some breakfast prasad. That was his vow, because he couldn't see the Lord. So the citizens were also reciprocating like that. Yeah. um, I we don't have much time, but if you all are okay, I just wanted to quickly read a couple of things from Chaitanya Charitamrita, or maybe we all can read. I don't know if we have that much time, but maybe at least one episode we can read from this Chaitanya Charitamrita. 9.177. Okay. This Brahmana Ramdas. Okay. I'll just read this quickly in the essence of time. This is from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, 9th chapter, from 178. Okay. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at Satan Mathura from Kamakoti, he met a Brahmana. The Brahmana who met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu invited the Lord to his home. This Brahmana was a great devotee and an authority on Lord Ramachandra. He was always detached from material activities. After bathing in the river Kritamala, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the Brahmana's house to take lunch. But he saw that the food was unprepared because the Brahmana had not cooked it. Seeing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my dear sir, please tell me why you have not cooked. It is already noon. The Brahmana replied, "My dear Lord, we are living in the forest. For the time being, we cannot get all the ingredients for cooking. When Lakshmana brings all the vegetables, fruits, and roots from the forest, Sita will do the necessary cooking." Wow, this is the mood. Uh, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very satisfied to hear about the Brahmana's method of worship. Finally, the Brahmana hastily made arrangements for cooking. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his lunch about 3 o'clock, but the Brahmana, being very sorrowful, fasted. While the Brahmana was fasting, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, "Why are you fasting? Why are you so unhappy? Why are you so worried?" The Brahmana replied, "I have no reason to live. I shall give up my life by entering fire or water. My dear sir, Mother Sita is the mother of the universe and the supreme goddess of fortune. She has been touched by the demon Ravana, and I am troubled upon hearing this news. Sir, due to my unhappiness, I cannot continue living. Although my body is burning, my life is not leaving." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Please do not think this way any longer. You are a learned Pandita. Why don't you consider the case?" Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, "Sita Devi, the dearmost wife of the Supreme Lord Ramchandra, certainly has a spiritual form full of bliss. No one can see her with material eyes, for no materialist has such power. To say nothing of touching Mother Sita, a person with material senses cannot even see her. When Ravana kidnapped her, he kidnapped only her material illusory form. As soon as Ravana arrived before Sita, she disappeared. Then, just to cheat Ravana, she sent an illusory material form. Spiritual substance is never within the jurisdiction of the material conception. This is always the verdict of the Vedas and Puranas. I just wanted to share this. There are two other pastimes of Murari Gupta and the brother of Sanatan Goswami, uh, Anupama. Yeah, I think Murari Gupta's is also in the Madhya Leela, and if I'm not wrong, maybe Sanatan Goswami's brother Anupama is in the Antya Leela. When you get a chance, you can read. It's already 9. So I'd like to stop here. Please, thank you for patiently hearing me, and please forgive me for any mistakes. And I humbly request all the senior devotees on the call to please correct and add. And thank you.
Work appointment.
And thank you for giving me the opportunity. Hare
Thank you very much. Nice.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very nice explanation of Lord Ramchandra also, and the shloka also, all the natural things, for creation, mountains and rivers and everything. It was so great. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, I just repeated whatever he wrote and said.
You covered a lot today.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very, very nice class. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. If there are no comments or corrections, then any announcements? Maybe Dronacharya Prabhu is on the call, if he can, maybe about evening. Are you able to make any announcements, Dronacharya Prabhu? Or are you tied up? I don't know if Mother Shobharade is there to make any announcements. 5:30 p.m., right? The program at temple begins. Is that right, Kaivalya Prabhu? 5:30 p.m.?
Yes, Prabhu, that's what I heard. It's 5:30. And the class will start at 6:45. Before that, Kirtan and Aarti and Abhishek.
Abhishek.
Yes.
Jai. So everyone can attend and take darshan of Lord Ramachandra and participate. Thank you so much again. We will see you all in the evening. And I believe Mother Narayani is giving the class on Lord Ramchandra's appearance day. I'm sure that will be amazing. So we'll all meet in the evening. Thank you so much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च
Patitanam
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो